Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Taylor, and this is Keeping It Real Debt and Budgeting. I am a digital budgeter, and I'm a 40-year-old woman with a dual income household, but paying off my debt on my single income. I will make sure to link my debt confessions down below and up in the eye so you guys can see where I'm starting with, but this is going to be a mid-week check-in from my first paycheck in March. I'll go ahead and I'll zoom us in a little bit, and also we will be able to zoom in on this tracker, but this is going over the first week of purchases and where I'm sitting with my budget 1 week after I got my paycheck on the 14th of March. So I have been working on my spreadsheets a little bit to realistically show where I'm starting with my budget. So I did have my salary that was coming in on the 14th, the rollover, which was what was left in my bank account when my paycheck hit, and incoming is any incoming deposits from my savings accounts where I'm paying myself back for purchases that were made out of the checking account. So in total, the amount that I had to work with starting on the 14th was the 2750.01. This is looking at what went into my savings accounts. The way that I do my budgeting is I pay myself first. So I do fully fund a Roth IRA and my TSP. I am a government employee, so I do fully fund my retirement accounts. Then I do pay myself my savings accounts. So $200 went into my money market, $50 went into a high yield, $75 went into my tax account, $100 went into, and I changed the name of this. This was my working savings account, but it is under Get Fit account in my app, so I figured I would make everything good across the board. That is just a slightly higher paying interest savings account through my credit union. And then I did have $25 go to Acorns. So a total of $450 went into my savings. Into bills, I did have a payment towards Discover Card. I did make more than this amount, but I made some of those payments out of savings accounts. Then I had my internet bill come out, my water bill, my subscriptions, my power bill, and my car payment. As we know, last time I talked about my car payment, how my husband pays the entire car payment himself. He also pays the car insurance. This amount is my half, quote unquote, my half of the car payment, and I stick that into a high yield money market at another credit union, and so we just let that money sit. That is kind of our rainy day, or even also our tax fund, because we are both professionals and we have no children, so we usually have a very high tax bill at the end of the year. So my total bills for this paycheck did come up to $975.49. I changed around my expenses a little bit. I told you guys in the last video that I didn't know what I wanted to do with miscellaneous, but I did end up kind of changing that around a little bit. So for each pay period, I do budget myself the $125 for household. That's typically Walmart and Target purchases, $57.50 for gas, so it's $115 per month, $400 per paycheck for groceries, and then $37.50, which is $75 a month for pets. So that is a total budgeted of $620. For my miscellaneous things, this might change depending on the month and what I have going on, but I did have to pay some medical bills because I'm still trying to meet my deductible for the year. So the highest miscellaneous charges in my account this month were on medical. Taquitos, that is a reference to Caleb Hammer with his financial audit show. That is basically stopping in to a shop or a gas station and picking up snacks. And then also I want to track my Amazon purchases. So these are the actual totals leading up to today, which this might be cheating a little bit, but I do need to go to Walmart today and pick up some things, but I am not sure what that purchase is going to entail. But for right now, I have not spent any of the money out of household. I have $45.82 in gas. I have $197.12 in groceries. I do also need to go grocery shopping this weekend, so I'll be using up the rest of my budget there. Now this is the big one. So I had $461.50 on pets. So we just recently found out that one of our dogs might need surgery for elbow dysplasia. We do have larger dogs. This is very common. He is basically growing too fast, and he had a break in one of his growth plates in his elbow. So this right here was his initial vet visit, his x-rays, and then we are going to have even more coming in with seeing a specialist and probably CT scans and also surgery. So this is going to throw off my budget a little bit, but I'm going to end up paying myself back out of my savings account, which I use as my emergency fund for these charges, but it is going to throw off my numbers, but I wanted to be transparent about where my money's going. Moving forward in the future, my husband and I did discuss financially what we want to do about the upcoming appointments and surgeries, and my husband is going to go ahead and manage all of the finances for that surgery coming up, and then we will pull from our other money market to be able to reimburse ourselves as we go, because we do use that as an emergency fund as well. We talked about me not putting a whole lot back onto my credit cards and then figuring out how to pay for it out of pocket. A lot of times we also kind of go halvesies on the things that are going on with the dogs. So after everything is said and done with his surgery and his rehab, we will see what the total cost is for the puppy dog to get his health care. This probably shows very highly that getting pet insurance is very important, and it's something that I put off. And right now I'm kicking myself because pet insurance would have been wonderful in this situation. But if we're looking at all of this with my total, that was $704.44, because we do have those vet bills that are in under pets. Again, I'm trying to meet my deductibles for the beginning of the year, so I did have close to $70 worth of medical copays. I have $22 in taquitos, no Amazon purchases, so our total is the $92. So if we're looking at everything all together, $450 went to savings, everything was paid for bills, we're over on the expenses, but I'm taking care of that. Miscellaneous, I'm not budgeting anything for miscellaneous, but I'm just tracking what I am spending. So the total that I had allowable was the $2,045.49. I'm at the $2,222.24. So I am over, but with the total income of the $2,750, I do have a little bit of a buffer. What's going to be tight is that this is the buffer for what I have left to fulfill the rest of my budgeted items, including grocery shopping and a trip to Walmart. Another thing that did help is I did put some things on my credit cards. And this is a new category that I want to track what I'm putting onto my credit cards, and that basically is the vet visits that are on this credit card. So it goes into my budget because it is money that I'm spending, but it's not necessarily money that is coming directly out of my liquid cash accounts, but I am accountable for that money. So for the Discover card, the only thing I put on there is I did purchase myself a new file cabinet. I do work from home part-time, so I do have to have a workstation that is functional, and my file cabinet that I have been using broke, and so I needed to buy myself a new file cabinet, and then pretty much everything that went on the credit union card is the vet bills. I did list a new credit card. Again, this is not something that maybe a lot of people would agree with, but I think I have a 0% on the Discover card until November, and I do have plans to have that one completely paid off by November. The credit union card, the interest rate is low, but there still is about $20 to $24 worth of interest every single month. On my Capital One card, I have an offer for 0% for balance transfers until January. So I'm considering transferring everything from the credit union card onto the Capital One card because my goal was to pay off the credit union card this year as well. So if I can do that on a zero interest, that might be a little bit better. So since I am filming this a little bit early, I don't know what my total expenses are going to be, but I do have to be aware that I'm a little bit tight over here with what is coming in and coming out, especially with those vet bills. So looking at the entire paycheck, if I go into my app, which I'll pull up my phone in my app, my next payday will be the 28th of March, and I do have some other things that will be coming out. We had to put in a service through our home warranty to get our water heater serviced. That has not come out of my account yet, so I did not account for that in my budget. Also, we did have to pay registration on one of our vehicles. That check went out in the mail, so I'm anticipating that coming out next week as well. I have some of my subscription items coming out. I have some of my medical things that are here, but this is really from Netflix up is anything that I'm anticipating coming out in between when I'm filming this video and when I get paid the next time. Right now, my checkbook is stating that I will have a balance of $786.76 left in my account rolling over into my next paycheck. Of course, I do need to go grocery shopping and do some household spending out of here, but I'm hoping that I will have about $500 rolling over from this paycheck to next paycheck to assist with some of those bills coming out as well. But I did want to do a mid-week check-in to show you guys how I am spending my money over the last week. And I did have some things pop up where I did not expect to have so many medical bills because I was trying to meet my deductible. They did send me 3 or 4 separate bills when the insurance company was getting back to them about the charges. So I was not expecting to have large medical bills, but that ended up happening. And then, of course, the medical bills for our dog, that was not expected either. But I feel confident with this budget, and I've already looked at my projections for next paycheck, and I feel comfortable with where I'm sitting right now. But I do have to be aware that some of the funds from this paycheck does need to roll over into next paycheck to pay some of those bills as well. I've also started structuring my monthly budget a little bit differently because my paychecks do not necessarily fulfill the bills and budget within that 1 month. So all of March's bills and expenses came out of the paycheck from the end of February, and then this one and the paycheck at the end of March will take care of April's bills. So I did rearrange that. You guys will see that also in the next video where I budget for my next paycheck, and also I'm looking at my budget for all of April. I think everybody who has been watching and doing these videos and doing these spreadsheets has really helped me be more accountable and mindful about my spending. I'll have to let you guys know next time if I do end up rolling over my credit card into the 0% interest. It just seems like the smartest idea instead of paying $25 worth of interest every single month to another card. But again, I have to be very careful about not running up another balance when transferring the money. But definitely you guys are going to have to let me know how you're doing with your budgeting. And I am also open to constructive suggestions. So I want to thank you guys for watching and looking at my midweek check-in on paycheck number 1 for March. And I will see you guys in my next video where we budget for the beginning of April. Bye guys.